The thunder of motorcycles echoed through Knox City's neon-drenched streets as Deer Queen led her night riders through the maze of warehouses and forgotten industrial zones. Rain pelted her face like tiny needles, but she barely noticed, too focused on the thrill of the ride and the growing unease in her gut. Something felt different tonight, a charge in the air that had nothing to do with the storm. She caught a glimpse of movement in her side mirror. Not one of her riders, but a shadow that seemed to move against the wind. For a fleeting moment, she could have sworn she saw eyes gleaming with an otherworldly light. The next morning, she stood in the doorway of the Night Riders' garage, watching their newest recruit work. Toolmaster moved with an almost supernatural grace around the bikes, his hands dancing over engine parts with intimate knowledge. He'd shown up 3 days ago, proving his worth with mechanical skills that bordered on miraculous, but something about him set her teeth on edge. "I've never seen anyone bring a dead engine back to life like that," she said, breaking the silence. He didn't startle, as if he'd known she was there all along. Sometimes things just need the right touch to remember what they're meant to be. The double meaning in his words wasn't lost on her. Their eyes met, and that same electric charge from the previous night crackled between them. Deer Queen fought the urge to step closer, to investigate the strange pull she felt toward him. She hadn't built the Night Riders into Knox City's most respected MC by giving in to impulses. "Wrench says you worked with the West Coast crews," she probed, maintaining her distance. "But nobody seems to know much about you." "Maybe there's not much to know." His voice was quiet, but it carried an undercurrent of something ancient and powerful. Before she could respond, the garage door burst open. Wrench rushed in, her usual composure shattered. "We've got trouble. Shadow Walker's cult is moving in on our territory. They're not just taking corners anymore. They're hunting for something." Toolmaster's wrench clattered to the floor, the sound unnaturally loud in the sudden silence. Deer Queen watched as something dark flickered across his features, there and gone like a passing storm cloud. That night, as her crew prepared for battle, Deer Queen found Toolmaster alone in the garage. He stood with his back to her, shoulders tense. "You should stay away from this fight," he said without turning. "I don't run from fights," she replied, anger flaring. "This is my territory, my family." He turned then, and the air between them grew heavy with unspoken truths. "Shadow Walker isn't what you think. He's not just some power-hungry cult leader. He's hunting me." "Why?" "Because of what I am." His eyes met hers, and this time she couldn't deny the otherworldly glow within them. "What I've been running from my whole life." The revelation should have terrified her, but instead, she felt an odd sense of recognition. They were both leaders of their own destiny, both carrying weights others couldn't understand.